The Legacy of the Lake House. My name is Beatrice Whitmore, and at 73, I thought I'd seen it all. But nothing prepared me for the betrayal I faced in the heart of my own empire, the Willow Manor, a jewel nestled in the rolling hills of the Lake District. I'm sharing this story not for pity, but to light a spark for anyone who's ever felt invisible in their own family. Stick with me until the end, and let me know what city you're reading from. I'd love to see how far this reaches. If I could stand up for myself, maybe you can too. For months, I'd been dreaming of this family holiday. At my age, chances to gather with my son, Thomas, his wife, Charlotte, and their 2 children, Lily and Oliver, were rare treasures. Thomas, a 45-year-old banker in London, had grown distant over the years, his life consumed by boardrooms and deadlines. Charlotte, 38, was a socialite whose Instagram feed screamed perfection, designer handbags, curated brunches, and a smile that never quite reached her eyes. Their children, aged 9 and 11, were sweet but glued to their screens, a barrier I hoped this trip would break. When Thomas suggested a week at the Willow Manor, my heart soared. I imagined long walks by Lake Windermere, sharing stories with Lily and Oliver, and maybe, just maybe, bridging the gap with Charlotte, who'd kept me at arm's length since their wedding 8 years ago. The 4-hour drive from my home in Manchester was filled with their chatter about spa days, Michelin-starred dinners, and exclusive wine tastings, as if I were invisible in the back seat of their sleek Range Rover. Every time I tried to join in, suggesting a family hike or asking about the kids' school, Charlotte's answers were clipped, and Thomas ignored me, his eyes fixed on his phone. I should have seen the warning signs, but I clung to the hope of mending our fractured family. The Willow Manor was my pride and joy, though my family had no idea. After my husband, George, passed away when Thomas was 10, I poured my grief into building a hospitality empire. Starting with a modest bed and breakfast, I worked 18-hour days, scrubbing floors, balancing books, and charming guests. Over 4 decades, I grew it into 12 properties across the UK, from Cornwall to the Highlands. I kept my success quiet, wanting Thomas to love me for me, not my wealth. The Willow Manor, a 17th-century manor house I'd bought and restored, was my crowning achievement. Its ivy-clad walls, polished oak floors, and views of the lake were my vision brought to life. As we pulled up to the manor's gravel drive, the sight of its manicured gardens and stone facade filled me with quiet pride. The valet, a young man named Henry, rushed to open our doors, and I caught the flicker of recognition in his eyes. I gave a subtle shake of my head. My staff knew to keep my ownership discreet. Charlotte adjusted her Gucci sunglasses, her auburn hair gleaming, and barked at Thomas, "Make sure we get the royal suite. I don't care if it's booked. Fix it." Thomas nodded, ever her obedient shadow. It stung to see the boy I'd raised, who once built model boats with me by the lake, reduced to a man who couldn't act without his wife's approval. We stepped into the grand lobby, with its crystal chandelier and roaring fireplace, and I smiled at the familiar hum of activity. Sarah, the front desk manager, greeted us with her usual warmth. "Welcome to the Willow Manor. How may I assist you?" "Reservation under Whitmore," Thomas said. "The royal suite, as requested." Sarah's fingers danced over the keyboard. "I have your booking for the deluxe Lakeview suite, Mr. Whitmore. The royal suite is unavailable for your stay." Charlotte's face twisted, her perfectly contoured cheeks flushing. "That's ridiculous," she snapped, loud enough to turn heads. "I specifically booked the royal suite. Do you know who we are?" I stepped forward, hoping to calm things. "Charlotte, the deluxe suite is lovely." "It has." She whirled on me, her eyes blazing. "Don't you dare speak, Beatrice," she hissed, her voice echoing off the oak-paneled walls. "Sarah, or whatever your name is, ignore this old woman. She's just the help we brought along." The lobby fell silent. Guests paused mid-conversation, their eyes darting to us. My cheeks burned as if slapped, the humiliation searing. But Charlotte wasn't done. "Don't talk to her," she shrieked, pointing at me like I was a stray dog. "She's just the nanny, here to watch the kids. Don't waste your time." My mouth went dry, my heart hammering so hard I thought it would burst. In 73 years, I'd faced loss, hardship, and prejudice, but never such venom, especially not in front of strangers. And then came the deepest cut. Thomas threw his head back and laughed, a cruel, hearty chuckle that echoed in the silence. "Oh, Charlotte, you're savage," he said, wiping his eyes. "But she's not wrong, Mum. Just let us handle this. Go sit down." The betrayal was a physical ache, like a knife twisting in my chest. This was my son, the boy I'd raised alone, for whom I'd sacrificed everything, nights studying business by candlelight, years of loneliness, to give him a good life. And he was laughing at my public shaming. Sarah's face paled, her eyes flicking to me with a mix of sympathy and shock. Whispers rippled through the lobby, phones raised to capture the spectacle. "Ma'am," Sarah said softly, her professionalism unwavering, "would you like to wait in the lounge while we sort this?" Charlotte sighed theatrically. "Yes, take the old woman somewhere she won't embarrass us further. And keep an eye on her, she gets confused easily." Thomas laughed again, and the sound shattered something inside me. I wanted to vanish, to flee this place I'd built, but a spark of the strength that had carried me through decades of struggle kept me rooted. I met Sarah's gaze, her eyes reflecting silent understanding. She knew who I was. She knew I could have Charlotte escorted out in seconds. But I held my tongue, picked up my small suitcase, and walked to the lift, my back straight despite the weight of shame. As the doors closed, I caught Sarah's nod, a promise she was waiting for my signal. The next morning, I woke to the sight of Lake Windermere shimmering under a dawn sky, its beauty mocking the emptiness in my heart. I'd barely slept, replaying Charlotte's words, "She's just the help," and Thomas's laughter. The truth hit hard, my own family saw me as insignificant, a burden to be tolerated. A knock on my door broke my thoughts. Thomas stood there, looking uncomfortable but not remorseful. "Mum, we're heading to breakfast," he said. "Charlotte wants you to watch Lily and Oliver by the pool afterward. We've got spa appointments." No greeting, no apology for the lobby scene, just another order. "Thomas," I said quietly, "about yesterday." He waved me off. "Mum, don't make a fuss." Charlotte was stressed about the suite. "You know how she gets. Let's just enjoy the holiday." "Stressed?" I echoed. "She called me a servant in front of everyone, Thomas." "And you laughed." He avoided my gaze, shifting his weight. "She didn't mean it. It's just her way. Can we drop it? We're on holiday." I searched his face for the boy who'd once clung to me during storms, who'd promised to make me proud. That boy was gone, replaced by a man who chose his wife's ego over his mother's dignity. "Fine," I said, the word bitter. "I'll watch the kids." His relief was instant. "Great. We'll be back late, spa, then lunch, maybe shopping. You're okay with that, right?" It wasn't okay. I'd pictured this trip as a chance to connect, not to be relegated to unpaid childcare. But I nodded, conditioned by years of keeping the peace. At breakfast, Charlotte held court at a window table, barking orders at the staff. "I want oat milk, not dairy," she told our waiter, James, a kind young man I'd hired myself. "And the eggs better be free-range." Lily and Oliver sat silently, eyes on their iPads. I tried to engage them. "Good morning, Lily," I said, reaching to smooth her hair. Charlotte's hand shot out. "Don't touch her hair. It's freshly braided, and I don't want it ruined." I pulled back, stung. "Kids, say hello to Gran," Thomas mumbled, distracted by his phone. "Hello," they droned, not looking up. I took the last chair, facing away from the lake view, while Charlotte ensured her family had the best seats. "Beatrice," she said, not meeting my eyes, "after breakfast, take the kids to the pool. Sunscreen every hour, Lily burns easily, and I'll hold you responsible if she does. And no snacks by the pool, they're full of junk." Each command was a jab, reinforcing my role as the help. "How long will you be at the spa?" I asked. Charlotte's gaze was icy, As long as we like. This is our holiday, Beatrice. You're here to help. Thomas said nothing, scrolling through emails. I wondered when he'd become so spineless. At the pool, I tried talking to Lily and Oliver, but their screens held their attention. Gran, Oliver said suddenly, Mom says you used to clean houses for rich people. Is that true? The words hit like a slap. I'd built an empire, created jobs, earned respect in a cutthroat industry. Yet Charlotte had spun a lie that I was a maid. No, sweetheart, I said. I own hotels, like this one. Lily looked up, skeptical. Mom says you make up stories because you're embarrassed about being poor. My breath caught. Charlotte hadn't just humiliated me, she'd poisoned my grandchildren against me, painting me as a delusional pauper. Your mom's mistaken, I said firmly. I've worked hard and built something special. They shrugged, returning to their screens. For hours, I sat by the pool, watching other families laugh and play while mine treated me like a stranger. When Thomas and Charlotte returned, glowing from their spa day, they barely acknowledged me. Kids okay? Thomas asked, eyes on his phone. Fine, I said, swallowing the truth, that their mother had turned them against me. Good, Charlotte said. You'll watch them tomorrow. We've got a private dining experience booked. That night, alone in my room, the lake's gentle ripples couldn't soothe the ache. This wasn't a family holiday, it was a transaction, with me as the unpaid servant, footing the bill for their luxury. But as anger replaced hurt, I knew things had to change. Day 3 began with Charlotte's usual orders. Lunch at noon sharp, she said, applying mascara with surgical precision. Oliver gets grumpy if he's hungry. Use the granola bars in my bag. We'll be back around 7, Thomas added. Maybe later if the restaurant's busy. As they prepared to leave for a private art tour, I overheard Charlotte on the phone, her voice dripping with fake sweetness. No, we can't do drinks tonight. I'm stuck with the kids and the old lady. It's exhausting, but it's just a few more days. Once this is sorted, we won't have to deal with her anymore. The phrase "once this is sorted" chilled me. It wasn't just about the trip. I took Lily and Oliver to the Manor's Kids Club, a program I'd designed for families. Watching them laugh with other children, I felt a flicker of hope, but it was short-lived. Needing air, I wandered the grounds, passing the rose garden I'd planted myself. That's when I heard voices from a secluded pergola, Thomas and Charlotte, who were supposed to be at the gallery, speaking with another couple. She's getting old, Charlotte was saying. And old people don't last forever, you know? The other woman laughed. Charlotte, you're ruthless. I'm practical, Charlotte replied. Thomas is her only child, so we'll inherit everything. It's just a matter of time. My stomach lurched. I edged closer, hidden by a hedge. What about Beatrice? A man asked. Doesn't she have money? Thomas's voice, once so familiar, cut through me. Mum? She's got nothing. Lives in a tiny flat in Manchester, barely scraping by on her pension. I've been helping her out for years. The lie was effortless. My penthouse in Manchester was worth £3 million, my investments yielding more than most earned in a decade. Yet Thomas had crafted a narrative where I was a burden he generously supported. That's why this trip is such a pain, Charlotte added. We have to drag her along because she can't afford anything herself. It's like caring for a useless pet. How awful, the woman said. And she probably expects you to look after her when she's frail. Over my dead body, Charlotte snapped. The moment she needs real care, she's going into a council home. I'm not running a nursing home for some irrelevant old woman. I gripped the hedge, my knees weak. They weren't just dismissing me, they were planning to discard me the moment I became inconvenient. But Thomas's next words broke me. The funny thing is, she thinks she's someone important, he said, chuckling. She tells these wild stories about owning businesses. It's pathetic, really, delusional. Dementia? The man asked. Maybe, Thomas said. Or she's just desperate to feel relevant. She even told the kids she owns hotels. Hotels? Can you believe it? Their laughter was a blade, slicing through my pride. At least we won't have to put up with her much longer, Charlotte said. 5 years, 10 at most, and we'll be free to live without pretending to care. I stumbled back, my hand over my mouth to stifle a sob. They saw my death as a relief, my life as a joke. Charlotte added, the best part? She's so grateful for any crumbs we toss her, like this trip. She thinks we wanted her here, not that she's just free childcare. Does she even pay her way? The woman asked. Are you joking? Charlotte scoffed. She's a financial drain. Thomas covers everything, her rent, her bills, this trip. She's useless. Another lie. I've been funding Thomas's lifestyle, his mortgage, the kids' private school, Charlotte's £10,000 shopping sprees. I paid without complaint, thinking I was helping my family. She's good for one thing, Thomas said. Free babysitting. She's so desperate for our approval, she'll do whatever we ask. It's almost funny. The cruelty was suffocating. They'd taken my money, my dignity, and turned my legacy into a punchline. I protected Thomas in the lobby, hoping to spare him embarrassment, but he was complicit, laughing at my pain. The anger that had simmered now burned cold and sharp. They thought I was nothing. I'd show them who I was. The reckoning. I pulled out my phone and called Sarah. Ma'am, she answered, her voice warm with concern. Are you okay? I'm fine, Sarah, I said, my voice steady. I need you to prepare something for me. I collected Lily and Oliver from the kids' club. We're going on an adventure, I said, ignoring their protests about staying. We headed to the lake, where I taught them to skip stones, telling stories of their dad's childhood, how he'd named every duck on the lake. For a moment, we were a real family, their laughter healing a piece of my heart. That evening, Thomas and Charlotte returned, flushed from their tour and wine. They strode into my suite, expecting to dump the kids and head to dinner. I stood by the door, blocking their path. We're going out, Charlotte said, barely glancing at me. You can put the kids to bed. No, I said calmly. You'll need to call the front desk and book another room for tonight. You're checking out tomorrow. They froze, confusion clouding their faces. What are you on about, Mum? Thomas asked. Don't play dumb, I said, my voice rising. I heard you at the pergola, your lies about my life, my money, my worth. Charlotte's eyes narrowed. You were spying on us? You have no right. I have every right, I said, stepping forward. I own the Willow Manor. I own all 12 properties in this chain. And I'm done letting you treat me like garbage. I handed Thomas a folder, detailing every pound I'd given them, pound 500,000 over the years, from mortgage payments to Charlotte's designer wardrobe. His face paled as he scanned the numbers. You've been lying to me? He stammered, turning to Charlotte. She's lying. Charlotte screamed. She doesn't own this place. She's just a sad old woman who cleans houses. Sarah entered with 2 security guards. Is there a disturbance? She asked, her eyes on me. Sarah, tell her, Charlotte demanded. Tell her she doesn't own this hotel. Sarah's voice was calm but firm. Mrs. Beatrice Whitmore is the sole owner of the Willow Manor and all 12 properties in the Whitmore Hospitality Group. She's our founder, our CEO, and the heart of this company. Charlotte's face drained of color, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. Thomas clutched the folder, speechless. What's this mean? Charlotte stammered. It means, I said, my voice ringing with authority, you're checking out tomorrow, and you'll pay for every spa treatment, every meal, every glass of wine. My credit card is off limits. You can't do this. Charlotte yelled. Oh, I can, I said, a smile tugging at my lips. And I will. I turned to Thomas. As for you, my son, the financial support ends now. No more mortgage payments, no more school fees. You've made your choice, laughing at your mother's pain, lying to your children. You're on your own. Thomas's face crumpled. Mom, please, we can talk. There's nothing to talk about, I said. You chose Charlotte's lies over me. Now live with it. They stood, stunned, as security escorted them out. That night, I slept soundly for the first time in years, the weight of their betrayal lifted. The next morning, I woke to the lake's golden glow, feeling alive, powerful, and free. A new beginning. The rest of the week, I spent with Lily and Oliver, teaching them about the Manor's history, showing them the gardens I'd designed, and telling them who I really was, not a servant, but a woman who'd built an empire from nothing. They listened, wide-eyed, as I shared stories of resilience, and slowly, their screens stayed off. I realized being alone wasn't the same as being lonely. The family I'd chosen, my staff, my community, respected me in ways my son never did. Charlotte and Thomas thought they'd taught me a lesson in that lobby. They were right, but not in the way they thought. I learned I was worth fighting for, even if I had to fight alone. This story is fictional, inspired by real struggles. How many mothers, grandmothers, or elders suffer in silence, they're worth unseen. If you were me, would you stay quiet to keep the peace, or fight for your voice? Share your thoughts below, and tell me what city you're reading from. Let's see how far this story travels. Your story might just light the way for someone else.